After 1933, Germany changed rapidly under the new government. Policies hardened, military culture intensified, and ambitions grew beyond borders. Amid this transformation, one unit expanded alongside the new national agenda. It began as a small guard formation, intended primarily for protection and presence. But in only a few years, it evolved into something far larger, a formation built for organized combat, structured discipline, and mechanized advance. By 1933, the unit became a formal regiment. By 1939, as war preparations accelerated, it stood as a fully active fighting formation. New recruits were selected regularly, equipment increased, and drills became relentless. The promise of modern war required modern tools, and those tools arrived. Armored trucks growled across training fields, artillery thundered against distant horizons. Tanks, symbols of the industrial age of conflict, rolled forward in columns like iron animals built from ideology and steel. Historical records show that the growing leadership of Nazi Germany monitored this unit closely, not only as soldiers but as representatives of political loyalty. In that era, faith and leadership was considered as valued as skill with a weapon. This connection is important to understand. Power was not only enforced through armies, it was embodied by the units that carried political trust. As the war escalated, the regiment expanded further. It adapted, restructured, and rearmed until it stood as a Panzer Division, a mobile armored force capable of swift, coordinated assault. This was more than a change in name. It was a transformation in purpose. A Panzer Division required logistics, fuel, communication networks, maintenance crews, engineers, and armored coordination. War became machinery, and machinery demanded precision. Every tank needed parts. Every part needed factories. Every factory needed steel and labor. Behind every armored vehicle were workers, planners, and thousands of unseen hands shaping the battlefield long before soldiers ever arrived there. During wartime, this division often appeared near the center of major operations, not by accident, but by design. Leadership placed it where results were expected, where momentum could shift strategy. Whenever strict obedience was demanded, it stood in formation. Whenever new offensives began, it frequently moved near the front. Historians note that this early reliability may have influenced the personal trust placed upon it, not admiration, rather expectation. In systems where power concentrates, loyalty becomes currency, and in this case, loyalty was exchanged for growth, equipment, and influence. But growth carries weight. To transform from a guard unit into a Panzer Division required more than expansion. It required reshaping identity, from ceremonial to battlefield. New strategies were introduced, training intensified, and doctrine emphasized rapid advance. Armored warfare meant speed, coordination, and overwhelming pressure. It meant fewer pauses, longer supply lines, and larger risks. This was industrial war, built not only on soldiers, but on engines, steel, and relentless planning. Inside the division, life changed as well. Recruits were no longer simply guards or infantry. Many trained to operate tanks, command vehicles, and repair machinery under fire. A tank was more than a weapon. It was a steel room filled with noise, heat, and responsibility. Crews ate, fought, and sometimes died only meters apart, enclosed by armor intended to protect but also to confine. Days stretched into months of preparation. Engineers refined engines. Mechanics worked through cold nights with grease-darkened hands. Commanders studied patterns of terrain, fuel consumption, and enemy layout. Modern war was a calculation, and miscalculations cost lives. For the Nazi leadership, this division symbolized the fusion of loyalty and armed power. But here, history offers a necessary caution. Power built through obedience and force can appear strong, yet strength without reflection often becomes destructive. Military expansion may create capability, but capability alone cannot justify consequences. The division's rise reflects how quickly a government can transform an idea into machinery, machinery into armies, and armies into instruments of conflict. By the early years of the war, the division had grown into a structured armored force, fully integrated into large-scale operations. Its organization included tank regiments, reconnaissance units, mobile artillery, engineer corps, logistics networks, and support vehicles. What began as a security detachment had now become part of a wider mechanism, one gear turning inside a much larger machine. And as with all machines built for conflict, progress came at a cost. Fuel shipments stretched across conquered roads. Repairs consumed days, miles, and manpower. Winter seized engines. Mud swallowed vehicles whole. War, no matter how modern, remained unpredictable. The transformation was complete, but transformation alone could not determine the outcome. History studies this unit not only for its battlefield role, but as an example of how political power can shape military identity, how ideology can engineer divisions, how organization can sharpen into steel, and how strategy can move forward faster than the world is prepared to absorb. The rise of this Panzer Division represents more than growth. It represents the dangerous momentum that fueled the Second World War. A reminder that building a machine for war is easier than stopping one once it begins to move. The story continues beyond structure and training. Ahead lie campaigns, victories, losses, and consequences, chapters written not only with movement, but with an impact that history still examines today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into history.